right, so today what we're going to work on is 1.3.4 CAD modeling skills. So if you go to Schoology, to this folder, basically at the very bottom, this is our last overall assignment for first semester. All right, so looking at this, we are going to do part one today, and then there's going to be a second part. So this PDF is the instructions that kind of go through the entire thing. This video will go through page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5, 6, 7, and that's it. All right, so basically the first half. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go to Fusion. We're going to make a new folder that is 134 CAD modeling skills. 134 CAD modeling skills. All right, then we are going to make a file in there, and we are going to save it. And we'll save it. We can say part 1. Sketch practice. All right, so hit save. All right, so we are going to make a sketch in the middle, and we are going to make a center rectangle. All right, center rectangle. So we go to rectangle, center rectangle, click the origin, bring it out to 6 inches wide, tab 4 inches tall. Enter. All right. So do not finish sketch. We're going to do a lot of stuff within this sketch. So make sure down here you only have one sketch, and make sure you're within this sketch. Do not make a new sketch, new sketch, new sketch, new sketch, or you might have to redo it. All right. So now what we are going to do is we are going to make some polygons. All right, so we are going to go to create, and we're going to go to polygon. There's circumscribed, inscribed, and edge. So it all comes down to how they are dimensioned. So circumscribed, if you see it, basically there is a circle within the polygon. So the dimensioning is to the sides of the polygon. Inscribed is the circle outside. Inscribed polygon is on the outside, so it measures, the dimensions measure out to the points of the polygon, and then edge polygon, the dimensions are the sides of the polygon. All right, so we're going to make a circumscribed polygon. Do not make it on this line, just make it up here. All right, so we are going to make it so that it's 0.35. All right, and we are going to hit tab and have a 5-sided polygon. All right, so hit enter. All right, so if you, we learned about geometric constraints yesterday, so this should be able to move freely right now. If you made it on this line, this would be connected to this line by a coincident constraint. And if that's the case, we'll have to delete it. All right, so then our next step is to make another polygon. All right, we'll do an inscribed polygon this time. We are, again, not going to put it on this, but we're going to bring it over here. It's going to be 0.25, and it's going to be 6-sided. All right, so we'll hit enter. So I have a 0.35, 0.25. Finally, we are going to make a triangle over here. You can just use the line tool if you want. We're going to make a line, line, line. This is a great opportunity to go up and use the equals geometric constraint. We can click, click, and then click, click to make an equilateral triangle. Then we will go to dimension and make this triangle of 1 inch. So if you're looking in the PDF, there's a slight mistake. In the drawing, it's 1 inch. and then it tells you later that it's 1.25, it's fine to just make it 1 inch. All right, so make sure you're clicking the right dimension. All right, so something that looks like that. All right, so now what we are going to do is we are going to do a decent amount of geometric constraints. So we are on page 4 of the packet. So if we look at this packet, we are now on page 4. We've gotten through 3 pages already. All right, so we're basically on to this one. This one by far will take the most amount of time. All right, so we are going to do A through G right here. All right, so we're going to try to read it, try to understand it, and then try to apply it. So the center of the pentagon is on a vertical line through the center of the rectangle. One side of the pentagon is horizontal and located at 0.5 inches above the center point of the rectangle. All right, so basically, we're going to actually have to do at least 2 constraints right here. All right, so we go over here. We have to attach this to a center line, but notice there is no center line right here. So step 1, within this sketch, we are going to make a center line. Now, useful practice is to realize that we can go over here to construction lines and make our line a construction line. Basically, that will make it dashed, and it will only help with our geometry. It will not allow us to build anything with it. All right, so we're going to make a vertical line from here to here and a horizontal line from here to here. Okay, now we're going to go up to constraints. All right, and we are going to go to coincident constraints, and we are going to go and click the center of this one and this line. So we know if we have a coincident constraint that forces this dot to be on this line. So this should be able to move freely this way. It should be able to rotate if we wanted to. But basically, the big thing here is it will be allowed to move up and down along this line. Now it says one of these sides needs to be horizontal. All right, so we can try to use the horizontal constraint and see what happens. Remember, horizontal constraints sometimes thinks, because it's horizontal and vertical, so it might flip. So we'll try. So I'm going to click this line and see if it goes to the horizontal. And it did. It worked fine. All right. If for some reason yours does not, all right, you can hit escape and go in and click that constraint and hit delete. All right. And then what you could do is you could do a parallel constraint with this and this line or this line, basically any horizontal line. All right. And that would force it to become here. So both would work. All right, so now what we have is we have this that can move freely up and down, but it is forced to be in this direction. All right, last but not least for this shape, we are going to go to dimension, and we are going to dimension this from here to here, and it is going to be a distance of 0.5. All right, so from the center origin to 0.5. All right, we got that one done. All right, so let's look back at our list. We did A and B right there. All right, now C, one side of the hexagon is parallel with the 6-inch side of the rectangle, and the center of the hexagon is coincident with the diagonal of the rectangle, and the center of the hexagon is 0.5 inches below the top side of the rectangle. All right, so we got 3 things to do here. Okay, so we have this. We are going to go in and we are going to click parallel, and we're going to click this line and this. All right, so now we have a side parallel with this. Then we are going to go up to constraints and we are going to hit coincidence, and we are going to click this diagonal line and this dot. All right, so now if we hit escape, we should be able to move this up and down, but notice this is parallel with this the entire time, and this slides along here the entire time. All right, so step 3 is the center of the hexagon is 0.5 inches below the top side of the rectangle. All right, so we go back here, we go to the dimension tool and click this line and this line. All right, and it is 0.5. All right, so if we do that, that is done. Boom, boom, boom. All right, now back to our instructions, okay? One vertex of the equilateral triangle is coincident with the corner of the rectangle. The center point of the equilateral triangle is coincident with a diagonal of the rectangle. All right, so we got 2 coincident constraints that we got to do. All right, so go down to our triangle. All right, so now what we have to do is we make a coincident constraint, and we want to do a point to a point. All right, and then what we want to do is we want to find a midpoint. All right, so we can use the midpoint constraint. All right, so we can click this and this. Oh, it didn't work. I thought it might. All right, so now we can see what we can move here. All right, so see, we'll click escape. Can we move this? All right, we can move this up and down. All right, so other than that, we could make this perpendicular. So we could click this, Control Z. All right, so we could click off. All right, make this perpendicular to this. All right, and that would be the midpoint right there. So that would be okay. So you could click that or that. We could do a lot. There's other ways to do it as well, but that would be fine. All right. So center point of the equilateral triangle is coincident with the diagonal. Yep. All right. So it should look something like this. So you have this right here, and this right here. Okay. Reflection question, is your sketch fully constrained? How can you tell? So if you look at this, if they are all black lines, they are fully constrained. Notice how this, though, is not all black lines, so it is not fully constrained. There is some constraints, but it's not fully constrained. All right, now we're going to work on the pattern function. Okay, so we are going to create 3 patterns. All right, we are going to use a rectangular pattern with this. We are going to use a circular pattern with this, and we're going to use another rectangular pattern with this. All right, so we are going to go through and we're going to estimate these a little bit. All right, so let's go in. We will do, since this one's the first one, we'll do the hexagons first. All right, so I'm going to click escape, and then I'm going to go to create, and we're going to go to rectangular pattern. All right, so we are going to highlight this. So now immediately it gives us 2 arrows and it asks us what it wants to do. So we are going to grab an arrow, and notice how you can move it over. Since there are 3, if we look at what we're supposed to have a total of 5. All right, so basically what we can do is this, but we don't want 3 there, we want 2. All right, we can move this up. All right, and we can click OK. All right, and then if you wanted to, you could go in and delete this one. All right, so now we have this, and they're patterned after that one. All right, then what we need to do is we want to make a circular pattern around this center one. All right, in order to do this, we need to have a circle. So we are going to make a circle out of construction lines, and then we are going to pattern this around it. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you go over here, we are going to create a circle that goes right here. And then we are going to go to create circular pattern. We are going to highlight this one. All right. Now, there is two things that you have to select. You have to select the object, that, and the center point, and that would be this. All right. And then our quantity in this case is 5. All right. So we got that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Done. So this is done. This is done. Now we're on to our triangle. So if we look right here, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 triangles along this line. All right, so we're going to go to create, and we are going to go to rectangular pattern. We are going to highlight this right there. And then what we're going to do, this is a little bit different. We are going to select the direction. What is the direction? Along this diagonal line. All right. And then what we have is 7. And then we are going to pull them out to about the right distance. Okay. So this is approximate. I would say pull it out to enough that it's not going to overlap this. All right. And then click OK. All right, so we got all these right here. So we got these, and we got these. All right, so now we are going to finish the sketch. Okay, so next step is we are going to extrude everything. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but we're only going to extrude 3 of these triangles, or whatever, V's, I guess. So we're going to hit E to extrude and click. Then we have to click this, and then we'll click this, and then we will click this, and we will click this. Okay. I probably will hit the house just to see how much to extrude it by, but something like that is fine. All right, so now we have 3 of these. 1, 2, 3. We have 5 of these, 5 of these. Next step. All right, so we are going to project existing geometry. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to click on this surface and make a new sketch. And then we are going to basically offset this and extrude it. All right. So what we're going to do is we are going to go new sketch on this surface. Make sure it's not on the actual plane. It's the surface. See how it highlights? All right. So now what we're going to do is we are going to go to create, and we are going to go to project. It is the letter P. Anytime it has a hotkey, that usually means it's pretty important. So project, and we are going to click this. All right. And then I'm going to click OK. So this should, see how all these are now purple? That means they were all projected. All right. So we projected it. Now we are going to take the middle 3 and extrude, or make an offset of those. So we're going to click on offset. We're going to click this one. Sometimes it allows you to click both. This case, it's not letting us. All right. So it doesn't really matter the exact amount. We could do 0.5 and click OK. All right, and then we'll do the next one, and we'll go out by 0.05. That one's okay. And then we'll do the third one, offset of this one, and go out to 0.05 and then there. All right, then we can finish our sketch and we are going to extrude this, this, and this. All right, so we're going to extrude those up a little bit. And let's look. That's what it pretty much looks like right there. That. Oh, and also to apply a 0.2-inch fillet to the corners of each pentagon. All right, so we can do this now. So we can then go to fillet and we can apply a 0.2. Let's see if 0.2 looks okay. All right, that's fine. All right, and then we'll click that. All right, so then what you can do is you can try to click each one if you want to, and by holding down Shift and clicking each piece. Sometimes it's a little tricky to pick each one. I might have picked the inside ones there, but we'll try to fill it and we'll try to go to 0.2, see what it looks like. Oh, that's most of them. I didn't quite get all of them. So then I would go over here and I could click this one, hold down Shift, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and that one. All right, then hit fillet and then go to 0.2. And then we're going to say that's good. All right, so looking at this, all right, we filleted it and finished the sketch, and that is done with part 1.